This episode has been brought to you by Faith Bynum, CPA PC. We're more than just taxes, and we're ready to help entrepreneurs and business owners reach their goals. We offer business strategy and development, nonprofit management, outsourced CFO and accounting department, and we serve as advisors for startups, small businesses, and entrepreneurs. You're building your dream. We can help you take it to the next level. Find us at faithbynum.com and 919-858-6807. We're Faith Bynum CPA PC, where people matter.
Sit down. Okay. Episode 4. Are we back?
Back,
rolling. Episode 4, 4 Times D.O.P.E podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts. I'm Jamie. We got Kwame, Jermaine, and Kisharo here. Episode 4 here on location, live in Raleigh at the Subject to Change headquarters.
Yeah, we in the building. 4 times D.O.P.E. Yeah, we known to get it live, man. 4 times D.O.P.E. New level, keep it high, yeah. 4 times D.O.P.E. Mic check, now we on it, we live.
This has been dope. Legit dope.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's been fun, man.
It's been fun kicking it in person.
Wow.
Like always.
Yeah.
Great.
It's not as awkward as I thought it would be because I'm like, I gotta have somewhere to put my
But the elbows in there.
my shit.
Right. Your own
In your space.
place.
I ain't have no light. Normally I got my light on me, my laptop, and I could Google shit while I was thinking, so I wasn't wrong about what I was talking about. I was honest.
Right.
I was honest in my as to tell you what coming up with no bullshit, it was actually the truth.
Great.
So
You
yeah,
always got a fact check.
got a fact check. But we got computers and stuff, but I ain't got
Yeah.
my laptop. I get to it, but we good.
Yeah, definitely. So I had wanted to just jump in and start a little situation where one of my friends, whatever, not my friends, but like I guess kind of a friend, but like the person had like 2 sets of friends, right? So like I have like 2 friends, 2 sorority sisters, whatever. But one of the sorority sisters have a group of friends that she grew up with.
Yep.
And the group of and the friends she grew up with, went to high school with, I guess doesn't care for the other friend.
Wow.
There's 2 different circles, and I don't know what the reason. If there's no real beef, it's just like it just don't click, whatever. So, I guess like at their homecoming, I guess the person that had the friends from like back home,
Yeah.
she like I guess planning some events and did some stuff with them, but she didn't invite her other friends she normally hang out
Current
with.
day friends.
Yeah,
Got it.
whatever and stuff.
Old day and new day.
Yes. But I think part of me might be, I kind of see both situations, but I think maybe the friend that she usually hang out with, I felt away because, she wasn't invited, even though she wasn't really clicking with the 2, her 2 homegirls, whatever. But I also kind of can see, like, in a part of the way, it's just like, all right, well, maybe because she know that it's not, it don't mesh really well. She didn't want to put that dynamic in place.
Right.
So I guess my thoughts are like, what are your thoughts about mixing different circles? Or is that a thing, for you?
Mixing different circles of friends.
Friends, yeah, or associates, or however you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But because, like, your friendship may be different, I guess, depends on the situation. Yeah, so some people don't look at it the same way. Like, if we all friends, then we all can hang out together. So I just wanted to... I'll start with you, Jamie, first. Like, what are your thoughts about mixing different circles of friends?
You would want to mix your social circles, but people are in your life for different reasons. So, like, my cycling buddies are my cycling buddies. And you want to mix them over to your drinking buddies, but them 2 people don't mix. Because I'm 2 different Jamies with these 2 different sets of people. My cycling friends, I'm talking about health and going far. My drinking friends is about, how many shots can I take? It's power hour, that kind of thing. As much as you want to, it just doesn't work. I did this once. I tried to mix my coworkers with my real life friends. It didn't work. I only had one job. I only had but one job. It was with the Durham Bulls. And they had a party like a coworker party and invited me, and I brought every nigga in Durham I could with me for some reason. I had my people. I'm like, I took like 6 carloads to this one party. It just happened.
Mm.
But I get there, my friends is talking cash shit to these white folk, you know, and it just didn't. It was like, this is not a good idea. And my alarm brother Phil was like, yeah, you should have never done that because those two should not meet.
Yeah.
Because they know you as this person.
Right.
At work, you know.
You use other person, you have to be at work. Okay, yeah.
You know, using whole sentences at work.
You're not cussing every other word.
Right.
Every other word, motherfucker, I ain't drinking that.
Yeah.
You cook it. So you, in theory, it is what you want, but in practice, it just doesn't work.
Right.
Because these people want you to be this person. They want you to be
What
college.
they know.
What they
People,
know.
people want you to be what they know you as. So if
Yeah.
you get in a circle and they don't see that,
Yeah.
it can sometimes like, who is this?
Well, who are you?
I-
Right.
I think people too sometimes want you to be who they
They
perceive
want you to be.
as making them comfortable in your
Yeah.
space. So if
No
you
more, no less.
right, if most people treat you the way they feel about themselves, and they want you to make they want you to be who they want you to be in order for them to feel comfortable. When you bought them 6 carloads,
Yep.
those folks didn't feel comfortable in that space.
Mm-mm.
It felt threatened
I
by
don't feel comfortable hearing it. It was like,
Right.
damn. This is
For some
comfortable.
reason, we mounted them like, wow, so deep, but okay.
But if they were like 6, not to generalize stereotypes or typecast, but if they were like 6 carloads with folks of color from Duke University's sociology department, everybody got Duke sweatshirts on. No, you know, it would have put them at ease. It put them in a place where, okay, we can relax now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, but in theory, it sounds wonderful, but it doesn't work. It's in my opinion.
What you can show?
I think, for me, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, if I'm doing something or if I'm having something, I want you to be there.
Yeah.
I'm going to want the people I want there. To me, it's not about, you know, mixing. You know what I mean? Because people going to be who they are at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, we got some couple friends at church that we cool with.
Yeah.
You know, but we know them from church. You know what I mean? So we have invited them to things. It's been kid-friendly things, but it's still been other friends there who I know are just rowdy, or who may say anything out their mouth. You know, like, but I can't worry about that. Like, I
Yeah, you
wanted
can't
y'all
stop
here
that.
to have a good time.
About this thing.
You know what I mean? If somebody does something to offend somebody else, that's different. I can handle that. You
Yeah.
know, if I have to go check somebody, I will do that. But I can't worry about who gonna mix and who not gonna mix. You know what I mean? So to me, it never bothered to me. I know sometimes you get in an environment, some people can make other people uncomfortable, but it still goes back to, well, let me come tell me
Right.
and let me handle the situation. I still might not be able to make you comfortable, but at least, you know, I'm aware of something that made you uncomfortable. So maybe the next time,
Right.
maybe I won't mix those circles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
That's true.
We're gonna find out though.
yeah, initially I'm
Yeah,
like, hey, I'm
basically,
like, let's just come. Let's go have a good time. So I
Mix this
really,
up.
And that's
I really-
the difference between work and friends too.
Yeah, work and friends.
yeah.
Work friends have a work background. We talk about what happened at work. That bitch Sheila ain't shit.
Right.
But friends is like, yo, this job that I'm working on is we're flipped.
Right.
So I could relax differently around you than I can with work
Right.
friends.
Well, it just depends too. Like some work friends can become friends.
Certainly.
You know what I mean. So I think it just depends on who it is. You know, your comfort level with that.
I agree
You
with
know
that.
what I'm saying?
Jermaine, about you?
I think Jamie and Kishara made some really good points. Here's what I think. I think that when I think about this question, this is automatically what I think about. I think about some of my friends from high school I'm still cool with, and I think about like you guys, and I think about maybe a couple other guys like Rod and from Central. I wouldn't, because I've done it maybe once or twice. I think I brought a couple of my homies from high school around Kevin Pettigrew, and we all hung out, I think over some wings or something, and it was cool. And sometimes that's needed. Sometimes those friends need to be exposed to like different thoughts, different ideas, and getting out of that comfort zone.
That's true.
So it can work both ways. On the flip side of that coin, you can bring some folks into a particular environment. We all on the same bandwidth and frequency, and talking about certain things, and they hadn't been exposed to it.
No clue.
Now they feel some kind of way about that.
I feel left out
in that space, feeling left out. So you got to be careful about that. And it's not that anybody's better than anybody. It's just that, like, I know I got a group of friends whose experiences in life are vast. I got my homies from high school who probably never flew on a plane before, or they've been to like Miami or Disney World. But when you start talking DR, Mexico, and Cabo, and China, they can't speak that language. Right, they can't relate to it. So, again, sometimes bringing people into other worlds, it's good for exposure, but you just got to be careful because some people can be offended by that. Now, and this is I'll make this last point too. Me personally, and I'm gonna knock on some wood or something. I never really had a lot of beef with people going through life. I really haven't. It's always been somebody like envy or somebody thought I wanted a girl or something. Then I was younger, right?
Yeah.
But I've never had beef, and I'm thankful for that because that just speaks to my character. Like, I might have cut people off, but I never had anybody say, "Man, I don't rock with man," or "Man, he's shiesty," or "He a snake," or "He owe me money," or something like that. So I'm saying that to say, I've never really had, like, I never really been in the middle and had this friend and this friend who didn't like each other.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? And if that's the case with me, I'm playing a mediator out the gate because I don't do that. I don't do that shit. I'm not wired like that. I wasn't raised like that. We got to get it together. I'm saying that to say, all of the friends who, even at Central, I got friends at Central who I rock with. Like Jamie said, it may be sport related. I got friends who I rock with. It may be
English department.
Right, English department related. But if I have something, if I were to get married, or if I were to have like some kind of like extravagant 50th birthday celebration, I'm inviting everybody. Because at the end of the day, I think we all can,
figure it out.
We can figure it out. But I'm not going to invite certain friends on certain vacations with my homie. I'm not doing that.
Right.
I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to.
Too much.
That's too much. And then too.
You can't be.
You ain't gonna have a good time. You'll be too worried about all that.
And travel personalities sometimes don't mesh with them.
What?
Can't show any. Yeah,
you can't travel with everybody. I call it travel personality. Everybody travel personalities don't mesh.
Right.
So, you just got. I think you just got to gauge yourself, man, and you got to know your personnel now. You got to know your friends now. You got to know their threshold too. Because and again, I wouldn't want to bring any friends in an environment where we're talking about starting a show or we're doing this, and they're 9-to-5ers. All they know is go to this factory or go to this job and come home, and then they're feeling uncomfortable. Because I don't want anybody feeling uncomfortable over time. So
I think it too. Like I said, I think it depends on the situation. In regards, like, so we got like a big general thing like a wedding or something big like that.
Right.
I think for that's different. You can bring whoever you want because, like I said, everybody can probably do their own thing anyway. And they're gonna click up who they want to click up at that point there. I think when it's kind of more of an intimate set, and it depends on what happened and who you have. And like you said, like Jamie had mentioned too earlier, you got different sets of friends, or you connect on different levels with certain people. Like, for example, if I was having something like cookout at the house, something small, intimate, a few people over, and I invite a group of friends, like I said, more rowdy or whatever the case may be. I got maybe some friends with me from church or something, for example. I might be a little hesitant with that because, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, well, I know that person doesn't drink, doesn't cuss really like that, whatever. But my other homies, they do that. They did back smoking, whatever and stuff, and drink, whatever.
Right.
So, and it might even be what I do, but it might be like, it don't bother me either, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have an issue with it, but they may have an issue with it as well. And now I'm putting them in a situation where I already know it's going to happen this way. I already can kind of see it.
Right.
So, like, why am I going to put myself in this situation?
That's true.
So just cut it off in the past.
You have to, in a situation like that, you have to prep your friends. Like if we going to bring somebody over to try this grill, we got to tell them, hey, when you get there, you got to take 2 shots. That's the rules. If you're a church person, don't come. I don't think you got to say, oh, I got this friend, and he's this way. You kind of prep them so they not caught off guard. your people was caught off guard at that party. But if you had to say,
No,
yo,
my co-workers caught off guard.
yeah, they were caught off guard. So if you had to say, I'm
Should
coming
invite
through,
me then.
I'm coming with 6 carloads of,
I didn't know that
they
till I
might
got
have
them.
been prepped. You know what I'm saying?
Right, you're right though. Right.
But yeah, but I think that I can work in like in some cases too. Or the ones that think, oh, it's not a big deal, and then when they get in it, they still feeling away. You know what I mean? And you are like I already told you. You know what I mean? So I guess it's not your problem at that point because you did tell them, but you still don't want nobody to feel uncomfortable or whatever. And it might not be nothing like serious. To say something like if I was doing something like like a bunch of frat brothers or something like that.
Yeah.
And then one person who may not be, it's not because they couldn't come. I just like you might not want to be hearing them talking about frat stuff the whole time and all.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like,
Because it's not even yours.
yeah, and you might not.
Yeah,
even
it could be another. It could be your frat brother, but you're talking about chapter business.
Yeah, or
So it's like, I don't want to hear this.
Right.
Well, go home.
Yeah, then even that circle could be a whole different thing.
It's a
So it's
whole
just
different
that.
thing.
So it's just almost like, and in some cases it can be cool. Depends on the situation. Like there's times where people that come through and they come to the frat house, we had it, and they went frat or whatever, and they chilling. We all have a good time.
Me.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying. All y'all actually been some point, so it just
I
been.
was over there.
So sometimes it's cool, but you gotta know what the setting is and how it's gonna be. You know, if you know you're gonna really do some old real fraternity type stuff, then you
Yeah,
like,
you need to know how to. Yeah,
and you're like, this one out. I'm catching you later on that. That's not because you don't.
We got some distance over here.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of how you do it, and then vice versa. You might have your frat brother who be super frat man, and you know what I'm saying.
That's true.
And you go with your other friends, you're like, all right, I mean, cool, but we're gonna be on some regular stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those situations you got to navigate, whatever, and just trying to fill out. But I can't see how somebody may feel comfortable because they already know, or it might be some tension in the past where they don't want had that extra tension, added back up and something.
Yeah.
But that I can get.
Get bigger. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's made me think about it when I heard that situation. I kind of gave like the unadulterated visit because I didn't want to put my business out there too much. But yeah, but I was like, yeah. So I probably didn't get a job explaining what really went down, but
Right.
Well, let me give you an example, and you just answer it honestly if you can.
okay.
And I didn't feel no type of way, so I do not want you to think that I felt some type of way because I didn't. But
Okay.
since we talking about this, it just made me think about it.
Put it on the table then. All right.
No, I just made me think about it. So we went to Hampton to the beach this summer. Right?
Oh,
And
okay.
you went and hung out with Chris and them.
Oh, okay.
You didn't ask me if I wanted to come, and I've hung out with them before, but you didn't say you want to come. Was that a situation you didn't want to mix, or you just didn't think about it?
Probably. I mean, it might have been a missed thing, though, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying, too? Partly.
Oh, Chris.
But that wasn't
Yeah,
just
right.
Chris. It was other people, too. Like, one of the guys.
Chris and his people.
Well, it was guys that grew up in my neighborhood. It was Chris. It was, Sam.
Yeah, that's your group.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and go it up. But, I mean, it felt like more of like a reunion thing, type thing, whatever
Right.
and stuff.
You don't want to drag a person.
So I just didn't
nobody
want somebody,
Right.
even though when I got there, it was a couple people that wasn't there, but I just didn't know what was going to happen. You know what I mean? So I was trying to like keep
I wanna
it
drag
cool
you
and
to
get
this
out.
shit,
Yeah.
too.
Right.
So that was more. It was more of that, really. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say it was that.
That's fine. I didn't care.
Oh,
But it just made me think about it.
It sounded like you
That's
cried
why
a little bit.
every time somebody brings something up, it's not because they care. It's just trying to get understanding to it. Which brings...
Which was perfect timing, though.
Yeah, clarity. Because I never thought about it until...
That was brought up.
Right.
Yeah, until we talked about this.
Clarity.
Yeah, it's fine. Which brings it to our next topic of getting clarity. On stuff. So a friend of mine who y'all all know who I met at some time, McKinley, you helped him with
Mac
the show.
Man.
Yeah. We were talking one day about something. I can't remember what it was. He might have been like texting me about somebody, his job or something. And somebody he might have talked about before, but he finally saw them, and was able to send me a picture of them, right? And so when I saw the picture, I was like, oh, this hoe? Like, for real? Like, that's what you talking about? So he then says to me, he was like, you say the word hoe too much. And I was like, excuse me? And he was like, yeah, you say hoe a lot. And I was like, what you mean? And he was like, he said, I'm shocked that you saying that because you have daughters. And he was like, I know if someone said that about them, you'd be ready to fight. And I was like, you doggone right. I said, but I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about
this hoe.
I'm talking about me. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, I guess because I was raised, by my mom, and I got 2 sisters. I've never used that word. And I was thinking to myself, okay, well, you said other things, but he was like, but I don't use derogatory terms when I'm talking about a female. Okay. I beg to differ. Anyway, I told him, I was like, well, I'm not calling somebody out their name. You know what I mean? I was like, I was using it loosely. Right. Not that I think this person is a whore.
I don't know.
I was just like, oh, this hoe? Like that. And I was like, we say it in our house all the time. Me and my wife, we talking to somebody, something funny on TV, like, that hoe crazy. Like, and them hoes crazy. Like, we say it all the time. Heifer, hoe, whatever. I was like, so it's not a big deal in my house. You know what I mean? So it's because we're not like trying to call nobody out. And again, I'm in my house. But it made me think more. So I asked him, I was like, I don't feel like I'm saying anything wrong because I thought we were cool enough that I could say that around you and it not be an issue. I said, so now I know it's an issue for you. I try not to say. I said, I'm not gonna not say it, but I was trying not to say it because obviously you're offended by it. So I was just like, well, dang. So to me, I call it like backyard talk, kitchen table talk. For people you comfortable with, I'm not gonna go out and just say, oh, you know what I mean?
It's called mixed company,
right? So I was like, is there something wrong with doing that? I want to know. Like I said, with people you think you cool with, because I'm like, I was shocked that he said that to me. So that's go back to clarity. I just want clarity. Like, do you think it's wrong? Do you think, it's something maybe we do need more conscious of? Because, we talked about words before, like hood and ghetto and all that type of stuff. So it brought me back to this. Because I was like, well, if I'm really doing something wrong, tell me. But I don't feel like I was doing anything wrong because I'm in the comfort of somebody I think that
Two people, you and him.
To say that, or y'all. So I'm like,
you thought you had a report enough to say that. But
but I've said it so much now. This particular day, you say it too much.
But maybe he also.
What do y'all think about that?
He might have also just didn't like. It might have been sitting him so long that he finally said something about it. But I can see how you would have been shocked about it as well because you didn't know and you feel comfortable enough. Got close enough where you feel like he ain't like no stranger to you. Where you just
where you can say it openly.
Yeah. So that's where it seemed like it might have been a little. I'm a little shocked hearing it too. What you just said, but yeah, I think it just depends. I think you gotta be careful what you say and whatever. But like I said, at the same time, if you're not like I said, Jamie, you're very vocal. You say what you want to say for the most part and everything else and stuff. And you can try to offend nobody purposely, but at the same time, you're gonna be yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Certainly.
But I also think that, like I said, with myself, I kind of feel like I try to be more conscious of what I said because I kind of didn't really, I've been in a situation where I was offended and been offensive to some people I didn't really know because how I talk and I was comfortable saying. And it's actually a long time when we worked. But a guy named Wayne, and I was going around, and by that time, I used to cuss so much, like every other word was a cuss word or whatever and stuff. And I guess I was just being myself, just cussing and everything. And I think finally he must have said something. He said something to you, Kashar, or either he said something to me, but he was kind of offended by it. But when I had to sit back by what I was saying, like, I was using stuff so loosely in every other word. Actually, that was kind of like getting me to kind of cut back. And I actually try not to be swearing so much. Not do it if I'm adding up, whatever, but just every other word, I don't do it, but I'm not offended by somebody else who else do it. Like, it don't bother me, what I mean? But for myself, it's my own personal thing that I try to work on. To be more mindful of, because like I say, sometimes when you just say something, you just don't know. You might be perfectly doing it, but just like, all right, I'm up here being all offensive, whatever. But if you're okay with it, it's fine too. I just try to be.
I guess, but that's what I'm saying. To me, I'm just like, where is the line? What do you do in that situation? Because I'm like, I'm not saying she's a whore. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, these hoes crazy. You know what I mean? So what is like, because we all say things. Right. Like nigga, bitch, whatever. Right. So I'm like, you got chicks calling each other bitches, like, it's cool. Like, hey, what's up, bitch? Like, ain't nobody saying that.
Well, I think
you know what I mean? So I'm just like,
because you don't know what the line is. Because almost like, so if you said, slut or something, he might be okay with slut. You know what I'm saying? And so is it the word itself, or is it you been offensive to women? Like, which one is it? And that's maybe where. I don't know. Is he offended to all things that I guess is degrading, to women?
First of all, fuck him. I don't care. Sorry, McKinley.
Listen, here's what I think.
Tell me what you think.
This is what I think, right?
Your honest opinion, because I want to know.
My honest opinion.
How I should respond.
Here's the first thing. So let's start with the word hoe. We all know it means borderline slut, tramp, whatever. Okay, we get that part. We also understand that word is used loosely in our culture.
Yeah.
Right? He knows that. Here's what I think. I think that he has an issue with the word, maybe hearing it repetitively, but I think he has an issue with the word for whatever personal reasons. I think you being vocal, using the word, I think it inflames his insecurities about the word. And I think that you using the word in your space, in your home. Were you in your home? Or his home?
They were in their space
No, we were
together.
texting.
Okay.
But I do say it around here too, though.
But
like I said, I say it in my home.
But my point is this. Okay, so it don't even matter. But you using the word as an adult.
True.
As an adult is what you choose to do, knowing whatever negative, connotations attached to it. But my point is this. I think the best thing for him to have done was say, hey, a long time ago, because that's not the first time he heard you or you text that word.
True.
Hey, man, listen. I know you're a grown man, you're an adult, but I just want to let you know it's offensive because of X, Y, Z, and then leave it alone. Because at that point, he wouldn't have to have told you that. You know what I'm saying? And then that still doesn't mean you stop using the word. You may say, okay, I respect you as a homie. Yeah. And your space, when I'm around you, I'll tone it down. I won't use it. But the way that he did it, right, instead of 15 hoes, I'm gonna use 3. But I think what happened for him to respond the way he did, not that it was like aggressive. Yeah. But for him to finally say,
yeah, it came out of nowhere. It caught me off guard.
Right. It was a build up, and it was more so to this is what I think. This is and I'm not his brain, but this is what I think. I think McKinley. I'm gonna word it right now because I don't want McKinley hit me up. And that'd be a whole nother podcast topic. No, I'm just playing. But no, he cool with me. But look, so I think here's what I think. I think you when you type that word, I think McKinley. This is what I think now. This is me, McKinley. This is Jermaine. This ain't got nothing to do with anybody else. I think McKinley was looking for an out to weaponize that word against you to get you to stop saying it. So by him saying, hey, you got daughters? Yeah, I do. And what the fuck?
Hoes are still hoes.
Hoes are hoes. What does that word have to do with my perception of women? That word doesn't. Your perception of women has absolutely nothing to do with a hoe. It's just terminology you use.
Yeah.
So
it's nomenclature that we use in our society,
right.
our group. Nomenclature.
Okay. Right. So as a grown man adult, he should. I just don't think he should have taken that approach about using your daughters as an example or a premise for you to stop saying it. That absolutely has nothing to do. Matter of fact, leave my daughters out of it. As a man, you just say, "Hey, man, I'm offended by the use of that word." Right? Because you using my kids as an example, or leverage for me to see how bad it is. That's offensive in itself to me. To me. So I think by him pulling out the big guns. Yo, you got daughters. To me, that's he's fed up with you using the word.
So he'll use that
to leverage him to say use it as a bargaining chip to say this is why it's so screwed up. But it's unfair because again that word has absolutely nothing to do with your daughters. As a great dad that you are, you don't need to hear that I got daughters. You separate the use of the word from your kids. And as an adult, he should separate all that shit and pull you to the side and tell me, look, man, I know you're a grown man, but this is how I feel about the word. And then y'all have that grown man discussion in grown man space. But don't try to come at me like you a fucking substitute teacher and I walk by the room cussing and you heard me cussing, you called the principal and the principal called me. That's just me. Yeah. Don't bargain chip my kids about something you feel like you're offensive as a grown man. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I never thought it didn't work, but it makes sense.
So I would be offended for him to come at me and say, "Hey, you got," because at that point I'm like, "Oh, fam, you look, you doing the most." Now you and I need to talk. Now let me tell you, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's just me. But don't ever use my kids or my wife as leverage or bargaining chips.
To get me to say something.
To make me ease your uncomfortableness. Because that's two separate things. Mm-hmm. Now let me talk to your ass. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So That's what I would have a talk to him about. Hey man, look, I understand where you're coming from, but look, it made me uncomfortable when you highlighted the fact that I have daughters. Because that, me being a dad to daughters has absolutely nothing to do. And matter of fact, that bullshit example you gave, don't ever do that shit again. This is me. This is not Kashaw. This is me. I'm saying this. I would tell him that. And he can take it however he want to take it. We can still be cool, or hey, you do you and I do me. So, but to go back to that, if that's what you and your wife do in the comfort of your home, listen. Some people take their shoes off at the door in their home. Some people don't. If you go to somebody's house and their shoes at the door, you ain't gotta say nothing. Just take your shoes off. Because this is their house. So if you
That's
do that in the comfort of your home and that's your phone, he needs to understand, look, this man is grown, I'm grown. It's a way to communicate that something is uncomfortable without highlighting or recognizing that you got kids and daughters. You don't do that shit. Because now, what you're saying to me, you're indicating to me that this last hole that I saw on my phone, I've blown my top. Now I got to reach for the big guns and I got to give a strong example of why you shouldn't be. No, you're not schooling me. I'm grown.
Yeah. Well,
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
all I'm saying is, if you're comfortable in that space using it, I wouldn't stop, because his uncomfortableness doesn't dictate your perception of women. It is you think women are great,
yeah,
right?
I do. Yeah.
So,
the
but
hoes is hoes.
right.
Bitches is bitches. My perception is that
Yeah, that's what it
you
is.
should be able to do and say whatever you want to your friends.
Right.
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 This is just the answer to the question. You can't tell me what to do. You can suggest, you could ask, but I also get to answer that, which I'm not the first to back down. I won't be the last. I'm not about to back down from that.
Right.
These hoes is hoes, nigga. Or these bitches is bitches. So you gonna catch them from me to you. That, my friend, is a hoe. So I'm not about to. You can try it. Ask my wife. I don't back down. So
Right.
that's the worst thing you do to a motherfucker like me. Just tell me what not to do. Nigga, it's on.
Right.
New challenge accepted.
Right.
So sorry, man. I got to talk about it.
Yeah, man.
So with Faye, you have issues with bitch or hoe? Because I know you
We be saying bitch all the time.
So I guess
Watching that mindless ass TV. These bitches is crazy.
But bottom line, it's a way to communicate uncomfortableness to one of your friends.
Right.
It's
Without
just-
having to go over that line.
Yeah, it's an adult way to do it. If Kwame did something I didn't like, or vice versa, I'm gonna go to Kwame. Look, man, and just deal with the point. I don't have to say, well, Kwame, you got a son, or you.
Yeah.
That has absolutely nothing to do with the issue. What you're doing now is kind of somewhat gaslighting a little bit, in my opinion. Again, this is my opinion. This is not his. You're gaslighting a little bit, and you're reaching and you're weaponizing my personal business to get me to make you comfortable, and that's unfair. All you gotta do is say, hey, look, Cheryl, look, man, I don't mean no harm, man, but listen, that word makes me uncomfortable. At that point, you're like, okay, let me think about it. But don't remind me of what I have going on at home, because now I'm offended. Because it's not that serious, first of all.
It is.
And put a diaper on. The fuck?
The fuck.
Yeah, I never thought about the way that he said it. I mean, you make a good point. Like, I think, man, maybe that's the point. I didn't really think that deep about it, but you're right. But I do think this McKinley's kid, because he felt like he was comfortable enough to say that. Like you said, maybe you should have said it earlier if he'd been feeling that way.
Right.
Like, and you mentioned that too. But like I said, and like took to the point why he didn't like it, you know what I mean, whatever, then that made a difference, whatever. But also, like I said, it's probably better him saying something than him being uncomfortable and y'all gonna be around each other or be talking or dealing, you know what I'm saying, as far as friends goes and stuff like that. So I think he definitely was in the right, to share that he felt comfortable with it. Now, since you broke it down the way you broke it down, like, yeah, maybe putting the kids and all that stuff like that as an example, just to make a point, like, yeah, I can understand how that could be left out, you know what I mean? So, but him voicing it, not so, I don't have a problem with that so much.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Him voicing it, dope. Just do it. You should have done that years ago, or months ago, or weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have let it ride this long. Because here's the thing: if he never addressed it in the past, you know what it tells me? It tells me that he had a tolerance for it. And if you had a tolerance for it, you were cool with it.
Yeah.
It's like if I pinch you, if you don't say ouch or you don't move, you got a tolerance for it.
Right.
But when I do it and it hurts, you gonna let me know right then. That's painful.
In the moment.
So I'm even more offended that you mentioned my kids, because look how long you've heard me say this, and you finally say something.
Yeah.
I'm offended. Don't ever remind me of my family situation over something that's small and can be rectified away and with man to man. I'm offended.
True.
Yeah, but and I agree with that. But also too, I think sometimes you may not even know that something is bother you, or you don't know like until time goes on too. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you might it's not a big deal, it might be deal no more. And sometimes you might kind of wrestle. Well, I'm picking my battles and stuff, but then there's a point like, well, I just keep going on. I'll probably say something. You know what I mean? So sometimes time might not be right there. Like I said, maybe in that moment that was where he had like the talent, bro. I've been kind of holding on to him because say something. Maybe he knew the best way of addressing it. So I don't know if you felt away or not when you did say it, but
no, I didn't feel away. I wasn't offended. I was shocked.
You were shocked okay.
Because I was
that you being called to the carpet about the word.
Like much as we say stuff in our comfort
Right.
zones,
Yeah.
I didn't think this would be something. It just caught me off guard. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So my question to y'all was, or it is kind of like, when a person is saying something, well, I think you already answered it.
Yeah.
If you feel uncomfortable with something I'm saying, just tell the person.
Right.
It may not change anything, but just say like, look, this bothers me when you say this.
And if you're cool, if you're friends with that person, like genuinely friends with that person, I know I would. You would certainly do something to make sure that you don't offend that person because you care about him as a friend.
Right.
But here's the thing too. Again, and Kwame made a great point. Sometimes people look for the opening or whatever, but I still believe that if something really offends you, you won't develop a tolerance for it. Yeah. You're not gonna sneak any sort of pork in my food and me taste it and be like, yeah, nah, and then a month later, Kwame, it's too much, man. I know you snuck it in my food. No, I got a tolerance. I don't have a tolerance for it.
None.
If you really don't have a tolerance for it, I know some women.
Stop it at the time, yeah.
My mom doesn't have a tolerance for the B word. Bottom line. I don't care if I take Juan to my crib for the first time, she hear Juan say it, she on you. She on your ass now. So either you have a tolerance, either you don't like it and don't have a tolerance, or whatever. But if you really don't have a tolerance for it, it's nothing to think about. It's just like the N-word. If somebody we're cool with who's white, really cool with, there's no tolerance for the N-word. You don't get no pass. I'm not gonna hit you a month later after you saying it, yo, I'm really offended. No, zero tolerance.
Zero.
So you can't hide behind the fact that, I was raised by my mom. Like, no, nigga, either you don't like it or you do. And the do side is you have a tolerance for it.
Yeah.
So I don't buy, this is coming from me, not for Charlotte. I don't buy, I finally got, no, you either got a tolerance for something like that or you don't. Mm-hmm. I just think you were representative of, when you said the word, you represented whatever issues he had with it.
Right.
And you were the representative of that word at the time. But again, if offensiveness doesn't have a tolerance, Joe, I can't say something to Joe that he doesn't like, or about a person he doesn't like. Now, Joe and I know some of the same folks. I can't say something about somebody he doesn't like and him not say nothing to me. I can't tell Jamie, man, you ain't got no right up here. That's bullshit. And if he offended, he gonna say, well, look, nigga, you need to go get your own shit. Because he's right. He's not gonna let it ride and let me come in here month after month. No. And with something like that, words like that, I know with me, I don't like to hear certain derogatories toward women either. And if I do use them in my cover my own home, that's my business. But my point is, if somebody said, man, you offended me by whatever. Right. I respect that, because come at me now. Because if I'm offended, I'm gonna come at you like a homie. Like, look, man, I'm offended, and I expect you to respect that because we homies. But
I'm gonna give you a bunch of more hoes though.
Right. But my point is this: if you gave I'm sure you gave him some more hoes. A bunch of more hoes. And he finally got fed up, right?
Yeah, we say it all the time.
I
say it all the time.
I don't think he finally got fed up. I think he had a tolerance for that word. And I'm sure other folks in his world, in his life, he's heard it before. But I just think he had a tolerance for it. If he didn't have a tolerance for it, he would have mentioned it a long time ago.
The bigger fat men could be hoes too, though. You know what I mean? So it's not even just
That's a good point.
That's a good point
it's not
too.
even just
And
like, you know what I'm
bitches,
saying?
and bitch ass niggas, and bitch asses.
Exactly.
But Josh,
Yeah, that's not
be all
to
of
a gender,
those.
you know.
It's not.
That's real talk,
it's-
though,
so
Paul.
That shit is non-binary. You
There
can't
you
be
go.
a hoe, a man hoe.
So yeah, it's not even just.
But yeah, don't try to camouflage that with remind me of
Nah, brother.
what I got going on. What kind of what? No, you don't know, man. No, that's just not the homeboy way and the manly way to do things. That's just my opinion.
True. All right, everybody. We're gonna have a dose of dopeness. This is our last episode. We did a great job, though.
Awesome job.
Air claps, all that shit. Air claps. Air claps. Okay, so our dose of dopeness is Civella Beauty Academy, owned by Miss Sheena Morning. Civella Beauty Academy offers courses in cosmetology and natural hair care. They're located at 1021 North Spence Avenue in Goldsboro, North Carolina. You can find them online at CivellaBeautyAcademy.com. That's CIVELLA Beauty Academy. You can follow them online on Facebook and social media at Facebook and Instagram at Civella Beauty Academy. And the phone number is 919-583-5577. Again, Ms. Sheena Morning is the owner and operator of Civella Beauty Academy. She's our dose of dopeness.
Awesome.
Word,
out.
and she's part of the Quattro. She's down with the crew.
Right. Shout out to Sheena. Man, good
Speaking
stuff.
of Quattro,
Good stuff.
Yes. Speaking of Quattros, thank you guys for tuning in. Continue to follow us and keep up with us on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at 4XDope Podcast. If you want to send your emails, you can hit us up at 4XDopePodcast@gmail.com. If you want to check out our merchandise, which we have a new color right here.
Yellow purple.
Yes. You can check us out at www.shopS2C.com. That's a
I'm
wrap.
being hella meta right now. I'm recording inside of recording and gonna post it to our recording. That's meta.